Okay, guys, this is just a little short video on how to do an outline. I'm just kind of looking at the handout that I had, but what I'm going to do, okay, and just kind of follow along, is I'm going to come up and open a new tab. All right. And when I open a new tab, I'm going to go into my panels and I'm going to look for the one app that says Docs. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to start a new document. Okay. So click on the blank, it will come up, and let's go ahead and title this document outline. And outline, and I'm going to put of teachers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is an outline of the teachers on the team, and just kind of give you an idea of what goes into an outline and how it works. And you have your topics, your subtopics, and your details, and so on. Okay. So after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put a header on this. So I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to come down to Headers and Footers and come over to a header. I'm going to hit the drop down, center it, and then I'm going to make my header probably about 30 font. Okay. I want it pretty big. Okay. And this is going to be Teachers on Team Impacts. Okay. All right. So to get out of that, I come underneath and I click it, and then I'm going to hit enter just a few times to get down away from that, to give me some spacing. And if I wanted to, I could go back and edit this. I could bold it right now and underline it, make it nice, and change the font and so on. But again, I'm going to come down a couple. And now we're going to go ahead and change the font again. Now, on your outline, when you're doing this, you want it big because it's going to be on your trifold. Okay, so I would recommend, let's do it in probably 18 to 24 font. All right, so I'm going to go back to 18 just to make it a little bit smaller. All right, and I'm going to go back up just a line. And again, make sure you're at 18 or bigger. Don't go too big. Now, what this program has is an outline format in it. So we're going to go over here to this toolbar and then see where it says 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to hit that drop down, and all of these different formats are going to come up for outlining. Again, let me do that again. I came over to the 1, 2, 3. I hit the down arrow, and then what I'm going to do is come down to the second row and over to the second column. So down and over. And that's going to give me the format that's going to be used for our outlines. Okay. All right. So on our outline, we're just going to be pretty basic because it's the first one you've done. I'm going to start with who. All right. Well, these are the teachers on Team Impact. So who, and to get to the next line, I hit enter. Now, if I want to go to the right, I hit tab. See, I'm hitting tab. And what comes up is different letters. Now, let's say, I went too far. I just hit enter to go back. Okay. And I'm going to start with the letter A there. All right. So who? Who is there? Well, let's start with me, Mike Milligan. Okay. And all right, I'm a teacher on Team Impact. So what, okay, so who is it? Mike Milligan. Well, Mike is a father, right? I'm a father, all right, and I have 2 kids. And then I could put details about being a father. I could put my daughter Reagan and my other daughter Ella. Okay. And again, if I hit enter, it'll go to the next line. If I want to go to the right, I would hit tab. But I don't want to go to the right. I want to go back. So don't hit backspace, hit enter. All right. What else is Mike Milligan? He's a teacher. Okay. So I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to tab over. I'm going to bring this up a little bit for you. And what's he teach? Well, he teaches social studies. So it's CIL studies. All right. Also teaches math. And you didn't know this, but I taught reading at one time. Okay. Now, let's say I had some information about reading I wanted to share. I would hit enter and tab over under that. You see, because these are going to be details about the reading. These are details about a teacher. These are details about being a father. Okay. So under reading, I taught novels, right? What else did I teach? I taught from a textbook, say. Okay. But those things deal with directly from the reading. So I'm going to hit enter. And if I want to get back to number 3, right, I just hit enter again. And then I'm going to put a coach down. Yeah, I coach. And a couple of details about my coach. And you know what? Maybe I should put coaching. Huh? So I just went back up and clicked. All right. So now I'm coach. What do I coach? Well, I coach. Oops. Sorry. football. I was the head coach of the track team here. I've coached softball, right? And in softball, some of the things I focused on was hitting, fielding, right? And um, uh, the book, keeping the book. So I'm just going to write keeping the book, the scorebook, keeping the scorebook, right? Now, what you're going to notice is that there are no sentences here. An outline is nothing but thoughts and ideas with details and subdetails. The idea of an outline is to be able to take this information and actually write a story or a novel or a narrative about it, okay? All right, so that's about me. But remember, if you have an A, you have to have a B. If you have a 1, you have to have a 2. So I have my A there of Mike Milligan. Well, who else is a teacher on Team Impact? Well, I'm going to go back until I get to that capital A. And I made a mistake there. Scorebook's one word, isn't it? So I better fix that. And here we go. So who's another teacher? Mrs. D. And Mrs. D, she teaches what? What do we know about her? Well, we know that she is a teacher and she's taught 6th grade, right? And in 6th grade, she has taught what? Reading. You didn't know that. But she also teaches language. Oops, I need to be able to see that. Sorry. Language arts. Okay. What about Miss D? All right. Well, I know that Miss D loves cats. So underneath cats, all right. And we just went to the next page. That's all. I'm going to tab over. All right. And she has one's name is Oscar. I don't know. And another one's name is what? Tyler. All right. Whatever it is. All right. So those are her cats. All right. So again, these details support 6th grade, the teacher and loves cats, Miss D, and so on down the line. So that would be our who. And you know what? If that's too big, then to change this, I would just go up and do what? Then I could just change my font just a little bit. Maybe we'll take it down to 16 just to make it a little bit more appealing. Okay, so we have our who. All right, and I could go on with who else? Mr. Glumac, Mrs. Hoovy. I could go on with Mrs. Rehack. But you know what? I want to go to what? So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go back and enter, enter, and enter. And look, there's Roman numeral 2, right? And we started with Roman numeral 1. So we're going to go back to Roman. And what? Right? Well, what about them? See, what happens a lot of times with an outline, unless you have a ton of information, is you get a little overlap, right? What about me? All right. So what about me is a little bit in who I am, right? Well, I was a coach, I'm a teacher, and so on. So let's go back down. What? All right. I'm going to, whoops, go back here and hit enter. And it brought me down to the next page. So you see what's happening, a little format area. So what I'm going to do is get rid of that. And I'm going to come down to the next page here and start it. All right, with my next piece here, which would be Roman numeral 2. So to do that, I'm just going to come down and over there. And hopefully, well, we're having a trouble there. All right, let's see if we can get the 2 up. Okay, boom, oops, and there. All right, and hopefully it will work for us. If it doesn't, it's not working. All right, so that's all right. We'll come back to that. See, that's a formatting error. So I don't know that that's going to help us out or not, but we'll stick to this. So I may have to go back and fix that with a typo. But who, what? What's going on? All right, so what about me? Well, one, so some of my maybe some of the things that I'm talking about is what? Some of my leisure activities. All right. What did I do? What have I accomplished? Things like that. So I'll just talk about myself a little bit. What? So underneath what? I'm going to go back to coaching. All right. And underneath coaching, I'm going to put football. And what did I do in football? Well, I coached defensive linemen, right? What else do I do? I uh, do strength and conditioning, right? strength and conditioning, right? And what else? If I have something about the strength and conditioning, I would just hit tab over it and list a couple things there. So I would put maybe weight room, and what else did I put there? Uh, maybe track work, right? Maybe we were doing some cardio work. So you're kind of getting the idea of this, and I'm not going to go down through the whole thing because there's no reason to. But these support this thought. Okay. These two support the football, and the football goes under the coaching, and that's what I've done. But if you kind of go up through here, you'll see this. All right. And I know it's a little confusing. This should actually be a Roman numeral 2 here. But the problem was I had to go to the next page, and I would go back and fix that. But hopefully, you got the general premise of what an outline is and how it is, and how it is to organize your notes. And then you take from the outline and you would do some type of story or narrative for that. So you would. Okay, guys. Thanks.